Good evening. Anger over Prime Minister John Howard's choice to reside at Kirribilli and not the Lodge has flared again. A small crowd of Canberrans attended a rally in Civic today, calling on Mr Howard to reconsider his living arrangements.
A Canberra rally at the weekend aimed at encouraging him to make the Lodge his prime ministerial home.
Soon after winning the election last year, John Howard made it clear he wouldn't be moving his family to Canberra. Kirribilli House in Sydney would be home. That decision has angered many Canberrans.
Every other Prime Minister has lived here, and so should he.
He was elected to public office, and this is where the people of Australia would expect him to be.
While the cold may have kept numbers down yesterday, rally organisers claim John Howard has delivered the biggest insult to the people of the national capital.
Defence people in Canberra, diplomatic people in Canberra, travel all over the place, change towns, change schools for their children because it's their job. Now, they tell me Mr Howard should go where his job dictates. That's Canberra.
The MLA will move a condemnation motion in the Assembly on Wednesday. Speakers of various backgrounds suggest the cuts to the public service, Mr Howard's desertion of the Lodge, are part of an anti-Canberra campaign.
That he will live in the Lodge permanently and that Kirribilli House will be opened up permanently to public inspection.
It's Saturday the 30th of August 1997.
Today on Saturday with Tara Brown.
Good morning and welcome to Today on Saturday. And Canberra residents aren't feeling very comfortable and relaxed about John Howard, absentee tenant at the Lodge. And Canberra locals aren't pleased about it. Hans van der Zond felt so strongly about the PM commuting from Sydney, he started a PM for Canberra campaign committee, a broad cross-section of people who believe John Howard's decision is damaging the local economy. Hans van der Zond joins me now from the National Capital. Good morning to you, Hans.
G'day, Tara.
In one of your press releases, I believe you said that the Prime Minister should receive not less than a public flogging. Now that's pretty tough action for deciding on where he should sleep, isn't it?
It is most probably if you take that sentence out of the whole letter. But we strongly believe here in Canberra that, and so should all people in the nation, believe that he is an absolute national disgrace to the establishment which is set up here in Canberra.
Do you believe he should be publicly flogged?
Well, that's a matter of metaphorically speaking, Tara, but we really feel very strongly about it. And in the olden days, a person who didn't behave for what he's supposed to do, he got a public flogging. So, you know, we are we're very peaceful demonstrators, mind you, or awareness. We're trying to put an awareness program together that all national Australians, or all Australians, should get to hear that Johnny is not in Canberra, and he is really the biggest abuser of all ministers in the Lodge, in Parliament.
Well, what sort of message do you think he's giving to the rest of Australia about Canberra?
He's got the highest position in the land, and he's got absolutely no respect for this establishment. And if he doesn't show respect, how can we teach our kids to have respect for personal belongings or personal things which are set up to do this, to make a life in this world? And I feel if he doesn't show as a leader what he's supposed to do and what things have been set up to do, then he should get out of the kitchen if the kitchen is too hot for him.
And you think that's his reason, do you?
Well, I think so, yes, Tara.
Now, I can't actually read those banners behind you. You've got some of your supporters there. What is said on those banners?
On one of the banners it will say occupancy, the tenant, the lodge is for sale, to be honest, because he doesn't really need it apparently. Mind you, Tara, I've also said in one of the press releases that if he really decides to come back to Canberra and live and make Canberra his home, which he should, because Tara, all this nonsense when he first started off with his, I'm doing this for my family, and everybody thought that was a tremendous idea because he's a family man. Well, forget about this family man business. He doesn't belong to the family. If you take the highest job in the country, last reports were 30,000, Canberra's an absolute shambles at the moment, and that's why we're speaking up.
Will you blame all that on the Prime Minister deciding to sleep at Kirribilli as opposed to the Lodge?
Look, Tara, if I had to choose, I'd rather live in Kirribilli as well, because it's got beautiful ocean views. But is the man there for a holiday, or is he there to work? All the people here in Canberra, the army people, the diplomats, they all want him here, because everybody takes the job for what he's been expired to for 13 years, for goodness sake me.
Well, with all due respect, some people might say they might have thought your economy would have got better with the Prime Minister not there.
Well,
your tourism might have gone up.
I do agree that there had to be an enormous amount of cuts in Canberra and in Australia most probably. But to what extent does Canberra have to bear the brunt? 30,000 people out of a small population, that's extremely hardship here in Canberra. Believe me, there's not enough being said about this. And Johnny is saying to all those premiers in Australia, stop puking and dumping on Canberra. Well, he is the worst offender. And I think he should be, well, Johnny, if you're in bed at the moment and looking at this program, I think you should be ashamed of yourself, really ashamed of yourself.
Well, on that word, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Hans.
Thanks,